filling the shoes of Samantha Jackalone. Really spectacular for the Notre Dame defense.
That save percentage north of 50% as well. Usually around 40% is good for a goalkeeper in women's lacrosse. On the other side, it's Chase Henriquez who has stepped in well. This is her third straight start.
Yep, also new to the Blue Devils in the back of the net, but she played her best game last week versus William and Mary with a total of 10 saves, and I'm excited to see how she can run the Blue Devil defense today.
Head coach Kirsten Kimmel said that Duke has about 4 goalies that they can rely on, and they're going with Henriquez after that great performance against William and Mary. Notre Dame will start off with the ball. Kathleen Rowe taking it from midfield, and we are underway. Grace, usually we see the game start with an opening draw control in the circle. Do you have any idea why Notre Dame started with the ball there?
It looked like there was a draw violation on the Blue Devils. Then they just got called for an offsides.
Couple quick calls against Duke. Notre Dame wearing their home whites with the blue lettering. Duke in their road blacks with the blue lettering. Duke ranked number 17, 4-2 on the year. Notre Dame, on the other hand, 4-0, second in the country behind only UNC.
Today's going to be very exciting, David, after a shot and a miss to start the first shot of the game.
Maddie Howe shoots wide. She missed the Ohio State game, as did Savannah Buchanan. Both of them are back in the starting lineup for Notre Dame.
And it'll make a difference, no doubt. If anyone got to watch the Ohio State game, it was one of the slower starts for Notre Dame. Became a very tight game at half.
Masenko looking up top for Buchanan. Buchanan fouled on her way towards the goal, and it looks like we'll have a shooting space.
From the top, Buchanan.
Savannah Buchanan has missed 2 games, one of 5 captains for this Notre Dame team. She'll have the first free position of the afternoon. The whistle, she charges in. Gets clobbered in front, and it's taken away by Henriquez.
Too many sticks there for Buchanan to break through. Redirects.
Alexis Joseph swings it back towards Kay Conway.
Missed it, it's gonna be Irish ball.
Sam Lynch will start things off on the far side with Andy Aldave moving up to her left. Here is Aldave.
So we were just talking about her. One of her strongest aspects is a feeder from behind the goal. You'll see her there a lot with Masenko. Able to find those really tight and short cuts.
Notre Dame working. About 25 seconds gone on the 90-second shot clock. Sam Lynch charges to her left. Passes over to Howe. Howe with a low shot, and it's blocked in front.
Hits her defender. Ball's loose out of the...
Nice pressure by Aldave. Aldave swings it back up to Sam Lynch. Lynch across to Masenko. Masenko weaving her way through. She gets some space, shoots, and again blocked by the great Duke defense.
We've seen 3 shots already that doesn't even make it past the feet of the Irish.
Outstanding move at midfield by Kat Berry.
And she's driving, going one-on-one with Donnelly.
Drops it off behind the goal. Nice spin move work by Catherine Cordray. Cordray's got Kathleen Rowe in front of her.
Now that we're in ACC play, there is no more gimmicks when it comes to letting shots by or letting your defender by you.
ACC opener for both of these teams in what is probably the most stacked conference in women's lacrosse. Up top, pressured by Erin McBride. She steers it back. Over to Abby Landry. Landry finds her way through and scores. Duke is on the board first, 1-0.
Already seeing a repetition from last week where Ohio State was the first one to get on the board. You'll see here in this replay, gets the slow whistle from across the body, but still manages to get her stick off. Putting in the bottom right for Dehan.
Outstanding shot from Abby Landry. Now 11 goals on the season for Landry. She's a junior from Hingham, Massachusetts. One of 2 players who Coach Kirsten Kimmel said has taken a huge step up this year. She's really elevated her game already with 11 goals.
we never got to see it for the first draw because there was a foul, but this draw control is one to watch, David.
Huge battle today between Maddie Jenner and Andy Aldave. Both went to McDonough High School, one of the biggest powerhouses in women's lacrosse at the high school level.
Actually friends, they've known each other for a long time. We mentioned today too, there were several girls on both teams, whether they played in high school together or in club teams, but there's very familiar faces on both sides of the ball today.
A lot of familiarity between these two teams. Whistle on the draw, and they'll have a redraw.
Ball didn't go above either of their heads, so it's going to be an automatic redraw.
Maddie Jenner has been outstanding in the circle to start the year. 70 draw controls through just 6 games. That's first in the country. Aldave on the other side just broke the program record for all-time draw controls at Notre Dame. And Jenner wins the first battle.
We're going to see how Notre Dame deals with rides and pressure in the midfield, and we're seeing a lot of it already.
Cosgrove swings it back. Dropped ball, Lynch tries to get there, still bobbled, but Duke picks it up. That's Callie Humphrey.
Ahern.
Tries to take it away, but a whistle is called, so Duke retains possession. So Duke team coming off of a win against William and Mary. They won 20-8 for their 4th victory of the year. Notre Dame, on the other hand, played last Sunday against Ohio State at Arlotta Stadium. Here's Cordray, spin move and a save by Dehan. First stop of the day for the junior. Howe comes flying in, tries to take it away.
Both teams really going to need to start capitalizing on the 50-50 ground balls here. Choma mixed up. Frustrated, gets the foul though.
Whistle on Duke. That's Casey Choma, #1 recruit coming out of high school.
With Ahern right behind her at #2. While we're talking about her, Choma scored multiple goals in her first 4 games, including a 6-goal, aka double hat trick, last week versus Ohio State, which was one of the most hard-fought games so far for Notre Dame, an unexpected one at most.
Yeah, they really exploded in the second half to get that 11-goal victory, but at halftime, it's just decided by a couple goals.
Yeah, and like I said, Ohio State was the first to get on the board last week, too. Howe
works her way to the right side and scores between the legs of Henriquez. It's a tie game.
Something that the Notre Dame offense capitalizes on the most is that right drive. Here's the replay of that shot and save originally from Dehan that got this momentum going to the other side. We have Howe all alone on her right in an entire open net on the right of the goalie. Perfect for Howe to get her momentum back from being gone last week.
Howe back in the scoring column, now 13 goals. That's tied for the team lead with Casey Choma. Howe, a junior from Fairpoint, New York, preseason All-ACC, led the team in goals last year with 59.
For the Irish, #13, Andy Aldave.
Aldave back on the draw against Jenner. Jenner with that 6'2" frame. How much does height, you think, help Jenner in the circle?
Oh, tremendously. Height's all you can use, especially if you've got some long arms. It all depends who can really get their stick higher. Surprised that this draw did not get called back. It was really low.
Rowe with a full head of steam. She drops it off back to Howe. Howe bobbles the pass, tries to get to the end line.
However, we're getting a shooting space call back from Rowe.
So Rowe, right before the pass, did earn the shooting space. It'll be the second free position of the day for Notre Dame.
Sorry, not a free position. It was a push, so it's going to be an indirect from the 12.
Rowe has it. Sends it over to Aldave. Aldave right side to Howe. Howe's got Alexis Joseph right in front of her. Sophomore defender from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Let's see how the Blue Devils rack up defensive-wise.
Ahern. Nice pass to Howe. Howe with some space again. Fake the shot. Back to Ahern. Under a minute left on the shot clock. In front for Choma. She buries it. 2-1. Nice feed from Masinko to Choma. 2-1.
2 Blue Devil defenders down on that goal. It's going to be good for Choma.
Number 5, Jesse Masinko. Notre Dame goal, Choma from Mississippi.
Coming off a double hat trick last week, getting the second goal of the game today, Choma knows how to find that placement. Reason she's the #1 recruit. Notre Dame overall was ranked #2 in NCAA recruiting for women's lacrosse this year.
Choma now team leading 14 goals on the season through just 4+ games. Duke struck first, but Notre Dame has scored 2 unanswered to take the lead.
For the Irish, number 13, Andy Dave.
Already quick pace of play in this one. Going back and forth are Duke and Notre Dame, and it's been physical so far too, Grace.
Absolutely, and while we're talking about it, this is the 20th meeting between the Blue Devils and the Irish, and one of the very few matchups where Duke and not Notre Dame doesn't lead. Notre Dame is actually 12-7 at a disadvantage in this series so far, trying to make it 12-8. However, they have won 4 of the last 5 meetings between Duke and Notre Dame.
Duke bested Notre Dame in the ACC quarterfinals last year, 14-13 out in Chestnut Hill. Duke was the 6th seed going into the conference tournament, Notre Dame the 3 seed. Irish then made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament before falling to Northwestern. Sam Lynch comes away with it after plenty of bodies going for the ground ball. Buchanan now has it as Donnelly charges up ahead.
So let's see how the Blue Devils lay out their defense right now. We're seeing a much higher stack up towards the front and top. We're not seeing a lot of zone coverage. We're seeing more man-to-man.
How?
Devils are going to need to know not to open it up.
Gets a shot and save. Nice play by Henriquez.
That was Howe yet again going for that same shot she made earlier. That right wing is always the go-to for Notre Dame.
Olivia Carter tries to pass up ahead, but swatted away by Kathleen Rowe. Goes out off of Notre Dame's stick, so Duke possession. Trying to spin move, but we have a whistle, so it'll come back. Lofted up ahead to Veronica Hyndman.
Notre Dame defense going to need to read this Blue Devil offense, see how they're approaching these picks and cuts.
Hyndman, a graduate of Unionville High School.
We're seeing clutter on the left side.
Hyndman will slow it down, pass over to Lindsay Reynolds. Getting a look at some substitutions for Duke. Reynolds working her way towards the 8. Back up towards Carter. Carter with McBride in front of her, gets some space on the spin move, sends it back over. Hyndman.
We got
The
a
horn
whistle.
sounds, and we have a whistle.
A horn, might I specify.
Quick stoppage of play.
Not entirely sure. Timekeeper is the one that blew the horn. Everyone's kind of at a standstill right now.
So Notre Dame up 2-1, just over 6 minutes gone in this first ACC contest of the year.
Doesn't seem like a lot of time, but Notre Dame's usually approaching 5 to 6 goals right now. And the Blue Devils are doing a great job really just keeping this pace, not forcing it, not having them drag away. The key for Duke today is probably to keep it a low-scoring game rather than letting them get these shots off, holding it on offense rather than shooting and losing the ball. They'd much rather have the ball in their sticks than have a low-scoring game than have Notre Dame run up the score with the ball in theirs. There's a timing issue based on what we've seen now. Working on
now talking to
the
both
shot
head
clock
coaches.
is what they're fixing.
Officials in today's game: Ann Drummond, Joseph Sarkis, and Kathy Russo. So 3 referees out there. So a couple seconds come off the shot clock as Halfpenny gets a look at Kirsten Kimmel now. Halfpenny and Kimmel talking to the referee now, and maybe a good time for us to highlight the leaders of each of these programs. Halfpenny now in her 9th season. She's done a solid job at Notre Dame, and Grace, this is maybe the best Notre Dame's been in a handful of years.
It's the first time they're ranked number 2 since 2004. It's the highest they've been ranked. This is Notre Dame's year. We've heard so many great things coming in this year about them. We're really excited to see where they can come and bring to the table, as well as North Carolina and a lot of ACC teams across the board. Halfpenny especially, really been super enthusiastic about this team. We've gotten to talk to her a bunch this season, and we have not seen a sad eye from her yet. She is so proud of her team. She has no complaints yet, and they're only getting better, and she's been very advocating of that.
Seeking that 100th win, north of a 600 winning percentage. She said her team is extremely versatile with a lot of senior leadership, 2 fifth years and a handful of seniors. Whistle blows and we are back underway. Overpass by Duke and Notre Dame.
Notre Dame sideline excited about that turnover.
McKenna Pearsall, one of 2 graduate students, along with Sam Lynch, passes up ahead to Savannah Buchanan, excuse me.
Looking for that.
Nice pass in front to Aldave, and it's a 2-goal lead. Second assist of the day for Masinko. First goal for Aldave. Notre Dame's up by 2.
Draw and dump you were looking for in collegiate lacrosse. Beautiful look from Masinko right to the middle of Aldave, cutting through the 8 right in front of Hernandez. Perfect goal for Aldave.
Aldave up to 9 goals on the year, 14 points. And Masinko already with 2 assists. She's done such a good job feeding.
Her and Ahern behind the goal, although we've been talking mainly about Ahern, Masinko just as much. Last year, she was that backbone behind the goal. She was that person to look for a feed, but now she's brought in Ahern, and now there's a dual threat behind, and now they have Masinko and Ahern finding these open and beautiful cuts right towards the middle.
3 straight goals for the Irish. They have a 2-goal lead over Duke with just about 7 minutes gone in the first half. Jenner and Aldave back on the draw.
Over the head on Notre Dame. It's going to be Duke ball.
Jenner passes out to the far side.
The Blue Devils doing a pretty good job so far, either redirecting to miss the Notre Dame ride or beating through it, as they've done just now. Again, one of Notre Dame's strongest aspects to their defensive ride is not being able to get them past the midfield. But like I said, the Blue Devils have been able to hold it on the offensive side of the ball for a good substantial amount of time so far.
Carney moving in on Buchanan. Gets some space to the right side. Stopped by Dehan. Loose in front. Irish and Blue Devils trying to come up with the ground ball. It finally squirts loose. Still goes loose into the corner. And Carter comes up with it. Carter swims back inside behind the goal.
Fresh shot clock too for the Blue Devils. Goes for the crease roll.
Tries to go between the legs, and another stop by Dehan. Irish pushing the pace. Pearsall over to Donley. Let's take a look at some of the saves, and Dehan standing on her head early in this one.
Oh, gorgeous crease roll save. One of the hardest when it's one-on-one with the goalie, but she got her feet in there. And that's how you have to use it when you're a much smaller goalie. We've talked about Dehan being more on the smaller side when it comes to goalie. Grace Steffens, the second string goalie for Notre Dame, the only player here for the Notre Dame women's lacrosse team that tops at 6 foot, actually. So Dehan really capitalizing on the opportunities of using her body, considering the height difference for most successful goalies.
Already 3 saves for the senior Dehan. She stands at just 5'3", but has been outstanding in her career. 24 games played, now 103 saves, and a 54.3 save percentage.
Kelly Donnelly taking the ball up in just a second for the Irish.
Donnelly with a nice spin move at midfield, charges up ahead.
Beats the ride.
Nice pass to Aldave.
Another whistle. Not being very generous with the calls today. Not entirely sure what that call was, David.
Looks like another scoreboard timing issue. 12 seconds gone on the shot clock as we take a look at some of the players for Duke. That's Kay Conway, one of the freshmen. Something we talked a lot with Coach Kirsten Kimmel about, Grace, is how this freshman class for Duke has really come in and pushed their senior leaders to be even better.
For both teams, honestly, David.
Yeah.
They both freshmen on both teams. We talked to Notre Dame in a sense where Notre Dame is versatile across the board and bring in these freshmen that can step up when they close down these stronger, older girls like Aldave and Howe. However, when it comes to the Blue Devils, being ranked 17th in ACC, standing 7th in ACC overall, having these freshmen lead these older girls really help get that new momentum that they've probably been missing, and that's why they're doing much better this year. Only 2 losses so far this year.
Those were close losses as well. Duke falling by just 4 goals to number 3 Northwestern, and then falling by just 1 to number 15 Navy. One common opponent between Duke and Notre Dame, that is Northwestern. Irish able to beat the Wildcats on the road 17-15 earlier this season. Here's Howe.
Howe again on the right side.
Passes back to Ahern. Ahern with a nice spin move, trying to get some space.
Looking for that cut.
Here's Lynch, over to Hannah Doherty. Doherty, the sophomore, with 1 assist on the year.
35 seconds left on the shot clock.
Aldave working in. Spins back to her left. Over to Doherty. Doherty. Back to Masinko. 2 assists already for the senior Jessie Masinko. Spins, shoots, and it's high. Duke ball.
Blue Devils able to get a stick on Masinko's shot, forcing the turnover.
Duke trying to push it up ahead. Low pass. Swatted back by Kat Berry. Berry, another player who Coach Kimmel said has taken a huge step up this year and has been on a mission. Katie Cronin working her way through. Over to Abby Landry. Landry scored the 1 goal of the day for Duke. Cordray to the far side.
We're watching her space it out. She's waiting for her attackman to get settled, find those spots they need to be in.
Cronin.
Using that outlet as Cronin.
Here's Barry with Donnelly in front of her. Rip! And another save by Dehan, this time upstairs.
Wasn't a chance for the Blue Devils there. Dehan had her stick right in front.
Already 4 saves for Bridget Dehan, just 1 goal allowed.
Too many bodies there in the middle where had no outlet or even angle to get that shot in.
Coach Halfpenny said that Bridget Dehan has done such a good job getting herself to be ready for this season after the departure of Sam Jacqueline. Coach praised her technical skills as well as her relationships with just about everyone on the team.
Yeah, the goalie basically runs the defense and runs the team. Only person that really can see the entire field and where the ball is and where those major threats are when the others can't.
Sam Lynch looking for Maddie Howe, who has 1 goal so far today. Works towards the center. Underhand pass to Choma. Choma trying to pass in front.
Push on the Blue Devils. It's going to be a free position for Lynch.
It was Lynch on the doorstep who got pushed, so she will get the 2nd free position of the day for Notre Dame. Irish converting on
the hanging
54%. And a stop by Henriquez.
Not a smart shot by Lynch. Hanging hash shot, meaning she had a very limited angle of that shot. And that's exactly why it went right into Henriquez's stick.
Henriquez, the junior from Norwell, Massachusetts, played in 6 games so far this season with an .852 goals against average. She's made a handful of saves so far today too.
Absolutely.
So far, a bit of a defensive battle between Duke and Notre Dame. Goals coming at a premium. Notre Dame has scored 3 straight.
Blue Devils trying to find the defensive weakness here on the Notre Dame side, and they have not really found a solid one just yet. They cover their crease rolls and their sides very well.
Cronin working her way through, and another stop by dien. She has been a brick wall these last 10 minutes.
And it's Notre Dame ball, and it is electric on the sideline for that save after Dien.
Dien named ACC Defensive Player of the Week after the win against Northwestern. That was a career high in saves. Also came in the second half against the Wildcats in the NCAA tournament last year.
Contributions to the team from last year are black and white now, David.
Mosenko back out to the far side, finds Maddie Howe. Here's Buchanan. Buchanan to Aldave. 3 different goal scorers for the Irish: Chioma, Howe, and Aldave.
And I don't doubt at all that there will be a fourth in just a second. Notre Dame is all about using every single one of their offensive threat as a goal scorer.
That's what Duke does so well too. As Ahern crashes towards the crease, stops and starts. Looking for a teammate, finds Chioma, spin move, falling shot, and it's in! 4-1.
Chioma and Ahern, the 2 Magic Duos out of Massachusetts. The number 1 and 2 ranked freshmen coming into this year, making the impact here for the Irish today. Ahern looking for that cut in the middle. Chioma caught up with 3 defenders on her, manages to get her stick away from her body and behind her back.
Chioma with 2 goals. She's up to 15 on the season.
Here's
Notre
a replay
Dame
of that.
has scored 4 straight with a nice feed from Ahern. We'll step aside on the ACC.
Talk about her because I didn't do the interview.
Back here at Arlada Stadium, Notre Dame leads Duke 4-1. It's a Duke team with a 4-2 record so far this year. They've been led by Kirsten Kimmel now in her 25th season at the helm. 7 national semifinals, 4 ACC regular season titles, 303 career wins. That is 6th among active D1 coaches. She has meant so much to this program and really built them up to be a powerhouse in the ACC.
On that Blue Devil side, but the Notre Dame side, Chris Halfpenny also making such a big difference, really leading her team, telling them, being very clear. They've always had such a crystal clear and fluid communication between their team. Coach Halfpenny almost treats them like kids. They went to the hockey game together last weekend as a team, a very close group of girls. And Halfpenny prides herself on that. It's really important to have a team with love and chemistry and all wanting the same goal, which is to be Women's Lacrosse National Championships this year, David.
Well, they certainly can make that dream a reality this season. Starts an ACC play today against Duke, though. Right now, Bridget Dehan may be the story of the afternoon. Already 5 saves and just 1 goal against. Duke has gotten some pressure and some shots on goal, but the Irish have been able to limit Duke to just 1 goal.
Draw controls have been going mainly to the outsides of the circle instead of both to Jenner and Aldave.
Jenner wins another draw. Beautiful pass to Cadbury. Plenty of space on the right side. Nice pass in front, but it's swatted away.
Unlucky, hanging her stick just in a checkable position. She almost had that shot off, couldn't keep it together.
It was Casey Chioma in there to break up the possible chance for Duke.
A caused turnover for the attacker.
Buchanan working her way into the attacking third. Drops it off to Maddie Howe.
They're going to try and work it around. No need to rush the shot. They're seeing and waiting to see how the Blue Devil defense moves, how they react to their cuts.
Perfect example just now of what Coach Halfpenny said when we talked to her this week, how the defense really sets up the offense for Notre Dame.
Truly, it's how they transition. One of their best aspects is their offensive and defensive transition. Here's Maddie Howe to the right.
Howe trying to work a spin move. Irish still have it. Howe.
Closing in on 25 seconds on the shot clock.
Mosenko back out to Howe, this time on the left side. Working in, spin move. Pushed back behind the crease. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Tries to find Buchanan and does, and it's stopped by Henriquez.
New shot clock.
Irish will get a fresh 90.
Ahern from the back, gonna look for those crease rolls.
Pass up ahead to Aldave. Nice control. Make sure that pass didn't get away from her.
Almost looked like a draw control
Right.
collection right there. That's where you put Aldave at the top for those far passes as an outlet too.
Buchanan passes to Masinko. Masinko with the spin move. Pushed back behind by Kay Conway. Masinko up top to Howe. Howe on the left side, finds some space in the middle. Stops and starts, back to the left, shot, and a whistle.
Got the slow whistle with the shooting space. However, we have, here's that last save from Henriquez.
Savannah Buchanan almost finding the back of the net after missing a couple games. Howe will get set on the 8-meter arc.
Thurston.
Callie Humphrey getting up a little bit gingerly, but she seems to be all right. Notre Dame trying to expand the 3-goal lead.
It's gonna be a free position shot for Howe.
Notre Dame has yet to convert on the free position today. 0 for 2 so far. Howe charges in.
Shot after, but a whistle, crease violation, no goal. It's gonna be Blue Devil ball.
Passes up ahead to Kat Berry. Berry fields the ground ball.
Loses
then it's
it.
jarred loose. Diana Kelly tried to come up with it.
We got a held stick on Blue Devils.
Notre Dame possession.
The ball's quickly turning over on both sides of the ball today.
Seeing a lot of action in the midfield.
Those 50-50 ground balls are becoming very apparent and necessary for both teams. They need to win those balls if they're wanting to maintain this possession.
Notre Dame right now with 3 ground balls as opposed to Duke's 2. Ahern drills it. Notre Dame up by 4.
The crease roll from Ahern, one of the most deadliest shots that she possesses. Beats her defender far outside the crease, leaving her a one-on-one at the top right for Henriquez, and that's our player spotlight today, Madison Ahern, her 11th of this season.
Notre Dame has scored 5 unanswered after Duke opened up the scoring thanks to Abby Landry. Ahern finding the back of the net for the first time today. She's now up to 2 points. Notre Dame right now just peppering Henriquez with shots. Now 12 shots, 9 shots on goal, and 5 foul.
However, that's where we're struggling. Notre Dame usually has a much higher shot on goal percentage, usually averaging much higher than what they're making. However, they're shooting some not needed shots right now. They are 5 out of the 15 shots so far. Duke 1 out of the 6. It's better to have no shot that was worth making than none. Can't make those stupid shots just because of time.
Jenner almost comes up with another draw control. Instead, it comes to the line, and Cordray gets pushed. Quick possession for Duke. Nice pass, ton of green grass for Garner. Garner drops it off back behind. Here's Caroline DeBellis. We haven't really called her name too much so far. Call on Hannah Dorney inside the 12.
3 seconds on Hannah Dorney. It's going to be a free position shot from the left hash.
Lindsay Reynolds will take it. Instead, she'll pass up top. Moving in. Swatted in front. Connected with a couple sticks. Did Olivia Garner.
Missed the shot, but got the ball back for rebounding from the back line. I think the Blue Devils are picking up on the idea that you can't have a slow-moving offense when it comes to Notre Dame defense. If you're not moving as fast as they are, you're not getting the ball behind the goal.
Bridget Dehan already up to 5 saves. Nice space for Reynolds. She stopped inside the 8 by Dorney. Now 35 seconds left on the shot clock. Cordray pass. Spin move. Carter trying to work on Buchanan. He's back by the 12 now, drops the ball. Now just over 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Cordray trying to make something happen for Duke.
Gets doubled in the middle.
High shot. Still Duke ball. Under 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Pass in front, and they score. Cordray breaks the drought for Duke. It's 5-2.
With 5 seconds left on the shot clock, gets the quick stick pass right in front of Dehan. Here's another look at that amazing goal. Dehan tried to get her body in front of it, just missed it, was not ready for that quick stick pass. And that was the goal that the Blue Devils needed for this first half, making it a 5-2 game after scoring their only first goal in the first few minutes.
Ended a 14-minute scoring drought for Duke. They scored to open up this game with 26:52 left in the first half, and then found the back of the net just now, thanks to Catherine Cordray. Cordray now 12 goals on the season for the Blue Devils.
Draw for Duke with 14, Manning Jenner. For the Irish, number 13, Andy Eldave.
And again, this is a Duke team like Notre Dame with tons of versatility on offense. They have 6 goal scorers who have notched up above 10 goals.
Let's take a moment to focus in on the draw controls today. We're seeing not a lot go even up, so we're having a redraw right now because it didn't go over their heads. You see that even maybe more in 2 very competitive draw controllers where it doesn't go where either of them want it to, and it's because of how much pressure they're both putting.
Aldave fights for it and comes up with the draw.
Rolls it.
Now an even 4-4 in the draw controls category for Duke and Notre Dame. Jenner has 3 for the Blue Devils. Katie Enrietto charging up the near side. Got Veronica Heineman right in front of her. Loops it back to Howe. Behind is Sam Lynch. Lynch rolling. Up top to Howe. Howe over to Aldave. Irish lead by 3.
Here comes that drive, but loses the ball.
Doherty has it taken away.
Hustles back though.
Katie Cronin with Kelly Donnelly on her in the midfield. Takes a huge spill and is still down on the turf. We've seen tons of speed, especially in midfield for Duke
yeah,
and Notre Dame.
absolutely, on both sides. Let's take a moment to acknowledge. Here's another sequence here. Dorney, unable to keep that cradle going, just simply loses the ball. However, something we haven't gotten to touch on really is how fantastic the offensive transition is for the Blue Devils. Notre Dame has one of the most infamous defensive rides in women's lacrosse right now. Really hard to beat, but so far so good for the Blue Devils, managing to get through that defensive ride, getting the ball in the Notre Dame defense, and we have a shooting space call.
Spin move by Cronin, and a quick shooting space is called. It'll set up a free position chance for the Blue Devils. Coming into this game, they converted on 20 of 48 free position goals. That's 42%.
Kat Berry looking for the goal, and she gets it.
Notre Dame's lead is down to 2 thanks from the goal by Katie Cronin.
Unassisted. Blue Devils goal number 18, Cronin, unassisted.
Katie Cronin now 11 goals on the season and 13 points. Duke has scored 2 straight. It's just a 2-goal game.
And this is what we were hopefully expecting almost for this game. Ohio State putting up a huge fight against Notre Dame last week, and now we have an ACC game, 2 ranked teams. Although the Irish have that fire, have that grit to really make it through the rest of this game, the Blue Devils are not giving it to them. This is going to be a tight game. I don't think we're going to see a running clock for this game, which will be only the second game so far for Notre Dame this season where we haven't gotten to a running clock. The first one was Northwestern, but other than that, Notre Dame's been running the board, home or away.
Notre Dame 1-0 against ranked teams this year. Duke, on the other hand, 0-2 against opponents in the top 20. Aldave wins the draw. Ahern now has it. If you're just joining us here on the ACC Network Extra, Duke struck first, is up 1-0. Notre Dame then scored 5 straight, and Duke has had a little push of their own in the last few minutes. Almost taken away by Duke. It's loose.
It is.
And Aldave comes up with it, spins back into the attacking third.
We got a kick on Duke, Notre Dame ball. We're seeing a very scrappy game here today. Lots of balls on the ground, lots of scraping it till one of them comes up with it.
Masenko.
Another loose ball. Notre Dame dropping the ball right now. Not one of their strongest aspects. We talked about this even last week. Coach Halfpenny likes to use the term high school errors in a sense. Dropping the ball uncaused.
Nice pass to Aldave. She drills it. Top left corner with the feed from Ahern. Notre Dame's lead is back to 3.
Another look at that amazing goal from Aldave. Found that open cut right up the middle. Enrique's not even getting the chance to see Aldave driving right for her.
9:38 left in the first half. Notre Dame has Duke doubled up. It's 6-3.
Here's another look at that goal.
We are
themselves as an early program, and as well as Stony Brook, not expected. They were kind of the Jim Morrison of a couple years ago, really bringing some new heat and a lot of talent to the NCAA Women's Lacrosse League this year.
Well, Stony Brook did just suffer an upset defeat in the top 10 yesterday. A really close game against number 8 Florida. Florida now with a couple big wins of their own. As you take a look at Coach Christine Halfpenny, I asked her what it was like to have this team ranked so high early in the season, how they deal with success, and she said, look, we know we're not going to be our best in February. It's just about getting better and better and playing until that.
And that's what makes her such a great coach. She's realistic in that aspect. She does not ask for everything from her team. She knows where they excel and where they need more work. And that's all about this season. It's all about progressing. It's about building those characters. And it's obvious as well because of the schedule that Notre Dame's had. You see a huge difference in how they've played in bigger games when it comes to Northwestern. And then you see how they played last week with Ohio State. If they had played how they played last week against Northwestern versus Ohio State, it would have been a much different game.
6-3 is the score. 9:38 left in the first half. Notre Dame leads Duke in shots and shots on goal. Bridget Dehan had a great stretch in the first half in which she notched up 5 saves. Now have a whistle on the near sideline. Card issued by the referee. As they're sorting out this delay, and Aldave and Jenner get ready in the circle.
Let's note it was a green card, which means it's going to be an automatic Notre Dame ball. It was against the Blue Devils.
Coach Kirsten Kimmel pleading her case to the referee on the near sideline. Kimmel in her 25th season, again, 303 career wins.
Kimmel unpleased with the call. It's going to stay. Rowe's going to take it up the middle from the circle, uncontested. Confusion across the field right now.
We've seen a few delays in this first half, but seem to be getting things underway.
So there is a penalty officially on number 14. They put it on Maddie Jenner.
Correction, team penalty for Duke being served on rate team Katie Cronin.
So Kathleen Rowe will take it. We wait for the whistle. Final 10 minutes of the first half. Notre Dame leads by 3. Irish goal scorers, Casey Choma with 2, Andy Aldave with 2, Maddie Howe and Madison Ahern. For Duke on the other side.
We got the go to play from the sideline.
Duke goal scorers today, Cordray, Landry, and Cronin. ACC opener for both of these teams. A conference that is absolutely stacked with talent. Notre Dame slated at 3rd in the preseason poll, Duke all the way down at 7, but again, this conference has so much parity. Duke was able to beat Notre Dame in the ACC tournament last year. Nice pass in front for Sam Lynch. She is clobbered in front, and a whistle. Lynch is still down after the hard hit issued by Cubby Biscardi.
We got a yellow card already. Gonna be a hit to the head. That makes 2 down.
Just a hard hit right to the right side of Samantha Lynch. See it by number 24, Cubby Biscardi. That's a freshman at 5'4" at that midfield position. Lynch is still down. Graduate student from Huntington, New York, getting worked on by the trainers. Andy Aldave comes over and helps out with the face mask, just gingerly moving to her side.
Metal stick to your side doesn't ever really end up well. We know just in women's lacrosse in general, your arms are probably the most bruised up of your body. Injury-wise, you see it a lot in your feet and your legs. You don't see a lot of upper body injuries. But when it comes to playing defense and getting a stick to the side, you know, that it really, how would you say, knocks the wind out of you.
Yeah. Lynch gives a quick thumbs up. Now she's smiling with the trainer and head coach Christine Halfpenny, so it seems like she'll be all right. She gave a thumbs up to the rest of her team.
Chris smiling too. Lynch being such a integral part of this Notre Dame team. Senior, really leading this team offensively. Positive attitude, smiling as she's being helped off the field right now. And Notre Dame going to fill that spot.
Number 24, Cubby Biscardi.
Samantha Lynch, 11 goals scored this season, 12 points. One of 5 captains, along with McKenna Pearsall, Andy Aldave, Savannah Buchanan, and Kathleen Rowe.
So as we enter now, may I make the point that Duke is down 2 girls. So it is a 5v7 currently. We still have Jenner out for her 1-minute penalty from the beginning, and now it's a 2-minute non-release.
So the Irish have some numbers, trying to find the back of the net for the 7th time today and bring that lead back to 4. Henrietto will take the free position for Lynch, who is now on the sideline, getting worked on after that hard hit. Whistle's blown, Henrietto backs it out. Fresh 90 on the shot clock for Notre Dame with that 2-man advantage. Howe fakes the shot over to Buchanan. Buchanan charges in. Passes off to Choma. Choma to Masinko.
There's
Back
2 girls
Ahern.
open no matter what.
Ahern finds Buchanan, who will circle it back. Over to Choma. Plenty of space for the freshman, and a shooting space is called. Choma looking for her 2nd straight hat trick after 6 goals last week against Ohio State. The whistle, low shot, and it's in. 7-3. Choma with 3 goals on the afternoon.
Couldn't say we weren't expecting that from a 7v5 opportunity for Notre Dame. I don't think anyone would be able to not capitalize on that opportunity.
Fighting Irish goal, her 3rd. Choma unassisted.
Choma went in that bottom right corner and snuck it past Henriquez. Henriquez now with 4 saves, 7 goals against. Choma now up to 16 goals on the season. She slaps sticks with a handful of her teammates as Aldave and Jenner get back to the circle for the draw.
And as we get back to the draw, let's just clarify one more time now that we have the information. Earlier, Maddie Jenner got a green card. The reason for it is a delay of game. We're taking too long in the circle, which is very common when it comes to draw controls because they're very picky. You'll see them reset. And if a ref just isn't having it, they can pull out a green card and say it's their ball.
8:40 left in the first half. Rowe, known for her speed, charges up the right side. Nice pass in front, looking for Masinko, who's hit on the doorstep. And another whistle.
We've got a push. From the cut of Masinko. Now she's going to get that free position from the right. Cash,
Masinko
still man up.
already with 2 assists, trying to find the back of the net for the first time today. Masinko waits for the whistle. Wearing that green headband, charges in front, hit by a couple sticks, and will pass it back to Aldave.
Got swarmed by 2 Blue Devils. Smart decision by Masinko to pull it back out. Now uses her opportunity behind the goal, where she capitalizes the most.
Nice defense by Cosgrove and company for Duke. Irish trying to match their lead at 5.
Aldave taking that single right opportunity.
Stops and starts, tries the bounce shot, sealed off by Henriquez, but Aldave still has it. Now a fresh 90.
Rebounds her own ball. Ball goes over the restraining line. It's Rowe.
Picked up by Rowe. Again with that speed up the left side. We'll swing it back to Howe. Howe looks over for Henrietta. Henrietta spinning to her left. Got Alexis Joseph right in front of her. She's done a great job on defense today. The sophomore stands at 5'3". Had 2 ground balls against William and Mary. Aldave loops it back across, looking for Buchanan. Nicely taken away by Humphrey. Humphrey quickly up ahead. This is where Cronin is so good in the midfield. Full head of steam, just 3 Irish defenders in front of her. Right side, Rowe in front of her, passes behind.
She gets the whistle, actually. Got the slow whistle, is gonna get a free position because she didn't get the shot off.
7:02 left in the first half, and we have another quick stoppage.
So in that fast transition, she had just the slightest push from an ND defender, which causes the low and slow whistle blown. Because she did not shoot it and went to the back, she gets that free position shot.
Cordray has it on the left side, passes it back up top. Looking for Cronin. Nice pass inside, beautiful play, but an even better save by Dehan.
But we have a whistle. And we have a dangerous propelling on the Blue Devils.
Wow.
So it's gonna be a 2-minute penalty.
Dehan is fired up as after that huge save from the senior, you see Kathleen Rowe went down on that play.
Explanation really quick, Kathleen Rowe got hit by the Duke attackman's stick after following through on that shot, despite missing the shot and still even saving it. The shot in the movement of her stick was dangerous in a sense because it would have hurt Kathleen Rowe in that sense. So that's a dangerous propelling. It's a yellow card in women's lacrosse. So Notre Dame is up again. It was on number 15, Abby Landry.
Yeah, that was Landry who had the chance on the shot. Saved by Dehan, but the penalty nonetheless, even if it went in, there still would have been that penalty, correct?
Yes, you don't see a lot of well-called dangerous propelling shots. So dangerous follow-through, dangerous propelling. Hard to call, especially when it's so cluttered in the middle, but that was a great call by the refs today.
Now 2-minute man up for Notre Dame. Duke has had a handful of penalties and yellow cards here in this first half. Nicely taken away by Duke on Maddie Howe. Charging up the midfield. Passes to Barry. Again, it was Humphrey who caused the turnover. Barry with Howe in front of her. Duke trails by 4. McBride gets a whistle. After the hit on Orsley. Donnelly falling to the ground with Cordray. Loose at the restraining line. Duke trying to come up with it, and they do. Cronin stopped by the horn.
Timeout from Duke.
So a timeout from Duke with 37 seconds left on the man-up opportunity for Notre Dame. 5:30 left in the first half. Grace, a lot has happened in this first half. We've had 10 goals, a handful of whistles. We've had stoppages, saves. What's your takeaway for both teams so far?
Biggest takeaway from both teams right now is obviously Duke needs to relax on the penalties. They're hurting themselves at this point. All of them are 2-minute penalties. Notre Dame's been man up for almost 5 minutes now in different situations. They've had 3 different girls go out on 3 different penalties. However, on both sides of the ball, Notre Dame and Blue Devil-wise, these 50-50 ground balls need to be picked up. They're scrappy plays. We're getting girls on the ground. We're not seeing people following through on these ground balls. When you want a ground ball, you have to run through it. You don't stop. You got to keep your feet moving, just how Katie Henrietta does tremendously, as well as Kathleen Rowe.
So a 4-goal lead for Notre Dame. Grace, at the top of the broadcast, we talked about Madison Ahern. What's the impact that she's made so far today with 1 goal and 1 assist?
Clearly tremendous. She can find those open cuts, and she honestly even finds herself in positions that is assisting from not behind the goal. She can get those outlet passes where she finds even Choma. She found her earlier in the game for a beautiful cut through. But Ahern doing a great job as a freshman leading this offense. And same with Choma. Those two are such a dynamic duo. I'm so glad that they came in together at Notre Dame. It's 2 peas in a pod right there.
Well, clearly both offenses are some of the best in the country. Duke coming in averaging 19.67 goals per game. Notre Dame just over 0.4 behind. Both top 5 in the country. But really, it's kind of been the defense that's been a little bit of the story for Notre Dame as well.
Both sides. Very low-scoring game for lacrosse right now. 7-3, you don't see that very often, especially in a Notre Dame game with only 5 minutes left in the first. And we talked about Dehan, too, averaging only 6 goals a game when Duke is averaging 16 goals a game just as much.
Yeah, Bridget Dehan's career goals against average is just over 8, but in 2020, it is at 6.14. Save percentage at 53.4. 20 seconds left on the man-up opportunity for Notre Dame, but Duke has the ball now. Cronin moving in on the right side. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. 5 minutes left in the first half. Nice pass in front, tries the left side, stood up by Dehan.
Crease violation anyway on the Blue Devils.
Bridget Dehan now up to 7 saves just in the first half. 1 hops over to Buchanan on the far side. Buchanan and Howe back after both missing the Ohio State game last week.
Blue Devils also back to full strength now.
So the penalty on the dangerous follow-through on Abby Landry has expired. 60 seconds left on the shot clock for Notre Dame. Aldave has a pair of goals. Perhaps wants a third. Moves in on the left side, waits, and loops it back to Maddie Howe. Howe's got Cosgrove in front of her, tries a shot just in front, and it almost leaked in. Henriquez able to stop it.
You don't see a lot of movement from Henriquez. You see her kind of very stationary in the goal. I can't tell if that's hurting or helping the Blue Devils right now.
Henriquez stands at 5'8", 3rd straight start for the junior.
Breaks 3 defenders.
Nice job by Cordray, who sends it back behind. Duke trying to cut this lead.
Jenner wide open in the middle.
Before going to the locker room. Just under 3:30 left now in the first half. Notre Dame leads by 4. Irish scored 5 unanswered, Duke scored a pair, and then Notre Dame scored another 2. Nice swat from behind by the stick of Casey Choma. Duke still has it. Barry moving to the right side. Shoots, stopped by Dehan. Another save, up to 8 on the afternoon.
The Blue Devils had that slow whistle. If they hadn't gotten the shot off, they would have gotten that free position, but nope. Dehan got her stick in there and made that save.
Timeout, Irish.
Notre Dame taking a timeout.
8 saves in just the first half. Grace, what is she doing so well?
The team is clearly hyping her up right now. She's doing a tremendous job this first half. She's reading that ball great. You've seen most of her saves are her stick following that shot, not giving her the opportunity to even use her body. Just following the hips and sticks of her offensive counterparts and doing a tremendous job at it.
Team clearly all smiles in the huddle right now.
Letting Bridget almost lead the group discussion right now, see what they need to work on.
Coach Halfpenny, again, in our conversation with her, extremely complimentary of Bridget Dehan. She said that she has worked so hard this offseason to be ready to take over for Sam Jackalone. And you can see it today with 8 saves and 3 goals allowed. I mean, again, these numbers that she's putting up, they're beyond above average for goals.
Absolutely. Like we said earlier, she's averaging a little over 50 in save percentage when good is around 40.
Right.
It's really hard to have a stat that high and consistent because that's an average too of just the past 4 games. She has done such a great job at reading this Blue Devil offense, because that's what the hardest part is yes, the defense is doing a great job reading them as well, but Dehan's the only one that can really see everything that's going on. She can see how these plays are playing out. She can see where the Blue Devils are capitalizing most of the time, and it's her job to interpret that and communicate that to her defense, and she's done that fluidly.
So we take a look at the series history. Notre Dame looking for their 8th win all-time against Duke. This is a Duke team that has won 12 of the first 19 matchups, but Notre Dame maybe has the edge in the past couple years, Grace.
Yep, winning 4 of the last 5. However, their last loss against them was not one that Notre Dame was proud of.
Duke with a huge win in the ACC quarterfinals last year out in Chestnut Hill. 14-13 was the final score there. Duke then lost in the semis to UNC to end their season. Again, this ACC absolutely stacked coming into this year. Notre Dame's next game will be against another ACC opponent on Saturday. Boston College comes to town.
That is a big, big game, David. I am way too excited about that game.
Eagles
2
will
of the
come into
highest
town.
ranked ACC teams.
BC is struggling a little bit this year, though, just receiving votes just outside of the top 20. Madison Ahern passes back to Aldave. Aldave over to Maddie Howe. Notre Dame trying to add to their lead. Howe working on the left side, finds some space, crashes in front, and scores! 8-3 now, Notre Dame up by 5.
Can't put Maddie Howe by herself in front of the goal, or else it's going to lead it right in the back of the net. She beats her defender, has a really tough angle, so she shoots low right as she's walking by almost. That's a really interesting shot. You don't see that very often, but it was a great one by Maddie Howe. Second of the day after missing again last week, really making up for the lost time from last week.
Howe up to 14 goals on the season. Trails only Casey Choma in that category. Howe, a junior who broke the 100 career goals mark earlier this year. She has set a high bar and scored at a fervent pace throughout her career at Notre Dame. She was the first freshman with 40-plus goals since Courtney Fortunato back in 2014.
High draw, first one we've seen in a while.
Duke comes away with it. Swatted away, and Buchanan now has it.
There's those 50-50 ground ball scrapes we're talking about. No one's running through these.
Still loose somehow. Still on the ground. Goes into Notre Dame's attacking third, but Duke has it. Sent up ahead, swarmed on the near side as McKenna Pearsall falls down, no whistle.
These are goggles too.
Kay Conway took that from about coast to coast. 1:30 left now in the first half. Notre Dame has their largest lead of the day at 8-3. Duke trying to get on the scoreboard before these teams break into the locker room.
Trying to make it a...
Cordray spinning around with Choma in front of her, and a whistle.
Yellow card on Choma. Stick to the head. It's going to be a 2-minute penalty.
So Duke will close out this first half on a man advantage.
Irish penalty number 3.
Seen a handful of whistles in this first half, Grace, whether it's clock
Here's
stoppages
another look.
or penalties. How does
Choma.
that affect sort of the pace of play? And obviously Choma with the penalty there.
Well, it slows down the game, obviously, and especially when we don't even have a running clock yet. But definitely one of the longer first halves we've seen from Notre Dame, usually averaging around 45 minutes. We're closing in just a little over an hour now.
Still 1 minute left for Duke to try to get to 4 first half goals.
Shot clock is off.
Cronin now back behind. Donnelly gets a stick up for Notre Dame. Taken away by Dehan. What a play by Bridget.
She said, not today, not in her house.
And another quick timeout.
Here's another look at that. Comes out of her goal, was not even gonna give that pass the time of day. Even tries to get checked, missed that check, spins her stick. Dehan making a name for herself today.
Absolutely outstanding first half performance from Bridget Dehan. Snatches that pass.
Getting high fives from Coach Halfpenny. Everyone giving her hugs and smiles. She is leading this team.
And we can see it right now how much she energizes her team, but how much does it mean to have a goalie who stands on her head the way that Bridget has this first half?
It breaks the team, honestly. If you don't have a strong-headed goalie who's ready to lead their team, you're not going to have a good offensive or defensive team. Bridget Dehan runs this team in a sense. No, she's not a captain. No, she is not a senior, but she leads this team and where she wants this ball to go, where she wants to put this pressure. She's in charge of it, and people forget about that.
Well, Bridget Dehan maybe putting up the performance of the season so far. She had a career high in saves against Northwestern in that huge ranked win earlier this year out in Evanston. But right now, Bridget on pace for 16 saves in the game with 8 here in the first half. 45.4 left. What does each team need to do coming out of this timeout?
45 seconds left. Notre Dame with the ball. At least from the Blue Devils have a defensive ride to keep them from putting another point on the board in the last 45 seconds because, trust me, Notre Dame would. They will. So as long as the Blue Devils keep their defensive ride up right now and not let Notre Dame get a ball in the back of the net in the next 45 seconds, should be a good.
So McKenna Pearsall, Kathleen Rowe will start with it in the near corner. Quick whistle from the near side referee after a 1.5 seconds comes off the clock. Again, Duke's still on the man up for 1 minute and 26 seconds, so they'll still have an opportunity with an advantage to start the second half. Rowe turns on the Jets through midfield.
What she does best, switching gears.
Underhand pass to Hannah Dorney. Irish maybe trying to tally one more score before these 30 seconds run out.
This is when they'll especially probably look to Howe.
And Rieto, right side. Circles all the way back behind the crease. Back up top to Aldave. Aldave trying to work her way through on the left side. Spins back, 15 seconds left. Nice pass in front, shot! Stuffed by Henriquez.
And that will most likely close out this half.
Duke trying to make something happen. They have just 5 seconds left. Big pass up ahead. Looking for Cordray, but it gets under her stick, and the horn sounds. 1 hour and 12 minutes the first half took, but Notre Dame leads 8-3. Grace, what did Notre Dame do well that half?
Notre Dame did a great job leading and basically running their offense the way they needed to, keeping a very settled offense. You weren't seeing very cluttered or rushing. They've been very strategic in all of their plays today, so Notre Dame's done great in that aspect. However, for the Blue Devils going into the second half, they're going to need to talk about these ground balls. They're missing those opportunities to get the ball back or even get it to keep the ball.
And then Humphrey as well, preseason third team. Callie Humphrey, the senior defender for Duke. Duke trails by 5 as we get ready for the second half. First half took about 1 hour and 15 minutes, a much slower half than we're used to seeing with a handful of stoppages and penalties. But now Jenner and Aldave will get set for this second half. And 30 minutes left to play between number 17 Duke and number 2 Notre Dame.
Hopefully we have a more fluid, easygoing second half. Not a lot of stoppages, but we will see.
We talked a lot about the draw matchup in that first half. Jenner won 3 draw controls. Aldave won 2. Savannah Buchanan comes up with this one as she was on the circle. Passes up to Donnelly. Notre Dame has possession, just 30 seconds left on the man up for Duke. That carried over from the first half. Buchanan passes out to Erin McBride. McBride back behind. got Kat Berry on her. McBride now swarmed by a couple black jerseys, and she stepped out of bounds. Duke ball.
Unlucky on McBride.
Choma is now out from that penalty, back onto the field, so even strength for both teams. Katie Cosgrove up the near side with Choma right in front of her. Grace with a 5-goal deficit. What does Duke need to do to chip away?
They need to have a more fast-paced offense. They're settling the ball, which, although Notre Dame's doing, they can't do it against this Notre Dame defense. If you settle the ball, they're just going to be able to,
especially with the deficit as well.
Oh, absolutely. They need to make more sharp cuts and more demanding towards the goal, maybe not even afraid to make more shots on goal.
DeBellis, again, she's been a little bit quiet today, been silenced by Diana Kelly and company. DeBellis, our player to watch for Duke, 16 assists and 28 points coming into the game. Both led the team. Shot, and it goes just wide. Might have caught the stick of Dien.
Here's that offensive transition that we were just talking about. 10 for 10. Let's see if they can make it 11.
Donnelly spins out of dodge with Catherine Cordray on her. Donnelly on the near side, loops it back to Katie Henrietto, over to Buchanan, and they flip the field. Up top to Diana Kelly. Kelly may be one of the unsung heroes on this team, a junior from Oak Knoll High School who had 6 caused turnovers coming into the contest. She's been a starter in every game for Christine Halfpenny's squad as Ahern is pushed from behind, and a whistle. Ahern looking in front. Passes behind to Masinko, moving the ball quickly. Nice pass to Choma, quick shot, and it's gloved by Henriquez.
Didn't need to move, went right into her stick. Notre Dame could make those better shots since they already have that lead. Needs to make sure to not make those hefty passes and shots that they don't need to.
Choma nearly had her 4th goal. She leads all scorers today with 4 points, 3 goals, and an assist for the young freshman. On the other side for Duke, 3 different goal scorers, Cordray, Landry, and Cronin. Duke scored first in this contest. Notre Dame scored 5 straight. Duke cut the deficit to 5-3, and then Notre Dame ended the first half on a 3-0 scoring run. A whistle as DeBellis wears number 2, guarded by Kelly Donnelly. Number 2 for Notre Dame. Kat Berry came into the contest leading Duke in goals with 17. Abby Landry with Choma in front of her. Gets past Choma, shot, and it's stopped by Dehan again. 9 saves now for Bridget Dehan.
Reading that ball and her offensive counterpart like it's her job so well. You cannot ask for a better day for Dehan today. Here's another look at that save. All stick, her body wasn't even there, but she got her stick there, and that is some tremendous work by the Notre Dame goalie today.
Seems like a lot of her saves have been with the stick. Also done a good job stepping in front of some passes as well. Had a highlight play to end the first half with about 45 seconds left. Howe now to Choma. At least through the first 5 minutes, we've seen it a bit more fluid. Not too many stoppages. And there is a whistle on Duke.
Card. It was a stick to the face. Ahern was immediately looking for the call as soon as it happened. Here's another look. Just a little bit. Got her stick right up against Ahern. It's going to be a man-up situation for Notre Dame again.
Good replay by our crew here with the ACC Network Extra. Now 4 yellow cards on Duke and a green card. So a 2-minute penalty Notre Dame will have to work with.
So let's see how Notre Dame tries to capitalize on this man-up situation.
Choma swings it back to her freshman partner, Ahern.
You see Howe hanging out.
Ahern had Katie Cosgrove in front of her. Now Buchanan and Howe play catch. Howe on the left side, stops and starts towards the middle. Bounce shot, and it's in. Maddie Howe's third goal of the day makes it 9-3.
And that's the hat trick for Maddie Howe. Tripling the scoreboard, 9-3 Notre Dame.
Fighting Irish goal number 24, Howe, unassisted.
Just outstanding footwork to be able to get past Callie Humphrey.
And this is where the Blue Devils are hurting. Getting that penalty is the key result of this play right now by Howe. If the Blue Devils cut back on these plays and these penalties, they might have a better chance at keeping this game alive. However, all these penalties and calls on them are only hurting them so far.
Notre Dame has capitalized on a couple of the man-up opportunities that they had. They even had a two-man advantage with the green card and the yellow card on Duke late in that first half, and they convert on the man-up opportunity now. Jenner and Aldave inside the circle. Notre Dame with its largest lead of the contest at 6. Jenner and Aldave, teammates at McDonough High School, the powerhouse of women's high school lacrosse. Both natives of Maryland. Now going up against each other, and another McDonough alum, Savannah Buchanan, comes up with it. McBride now has it full head of steam past the restraining line. Sends it back to Howe. Howe and Choma each with a hat trick today.
Notre Dame still man up for another minute.
Howe passes to Henrietto. Henrietto over to Aldave. Might have been intended for Choma. Choma, high pass to Howe. Tries to come up with it, loose ball. Duke sneaks it away. High pass, quickly fielded by Humphrey, and a nice play to swing it back around to Alexis Joseph.
Doing a good job, the Blue Devils keeping the ball in their sticks, actually. Something we weren't seeing earlier, but now they're keeping it in their sticks, not even giving it that 50-50 ground ball, which is already making a difference for them.
6 minutes gone in the second half. Notre Dame up by 6.
This is where they're going to want to run out that penalty, 15 more seconds, and then they'll try and maybe make a play with the oncoming attackman from the sideline. 3 seconds. And they're at full strength.
Out from the penalty is Veronica Heineman. She now has it right outside the 12. Back towards the near side corner with Catherine Cordray. Cordray, 11 goals coming into this contest. Passes over to Reynolds. Reynolds out to number 12, Olivia Carner. Carner trying to find some space. Nice pass in front, but it's poked away. Ground ball is loose, and DeBellis comes up with it. Another pass in front, it's loose. Duke has it, and a whistle is blown.
It's going to be a free position from the Blue Devils. Something they've been needing.
Cordray will take it, trying to cut the deficit to 5. She's got Rowe to her right, Diana Kelly to her left. Dehan with 9 saves so far today. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Whistle's blown, and she drills it. 9-4 now the score, as Cordray converts on the free position.
Normally we would say where the goalie went wrong here, but in this sense, a free position shot and how well she's been doing today. This was just the shot that the Blue Devils needed. Cordray making that much needed free position goal, cutting the deficit to 5, like you said.
Cordray, first goal scorer for Duke to have more than 1. She's notched up a pair in this contest. Duke trails by just 5, still very much within reach with just under 23 minutes left in the game.
Draw for Duke, number 35, Alexis Schmalls. For the Irish, number 13, Andy Aldave.
Aldave will take the draw this time, not against the 6'2" Maddie Jenner. Instead, Lexi Schmalls, the freshman from Needham, Massachusetts, has 6 draw controls so far this year. Scored 2 goals against Gardner-Webb in the season opener for the Blue Devils. That game was the 300th career win for head coach Kirsten Kimmel. She now sits at 303, which is 6th all-time among active D1 coaches. Aldave quickly wins the draw. Passes to Buchanan. Buchanan, beautiful feed to Rowe. Ton of space in front for Howe. Howe working her way through. Taken away. What a great play.
Gets the foul.
By Biscardi, but a foul is called.
So Howe's going to get the free position for the trip in the 8.
Just at the lip of the 8, so Howe can make it a 4-goal performance if she converts here. Irish trying to push that lead back to 6. Howe. Bounce shot, it's off the post.
Unlucky shot by Howe.
Alexis Joseph can't corral it, and it's still Notre Dame ball. Dorney will pass it in.
Fresh shot clock, so Notre Dame's going to get a chance to reset, maybe even try a different play.
Maddie Howe almost had her 4th goal, just went off of the left post after the bounce shot from the junior. Howe works her way around, swings it back out to Buchanan. Buchanan up top to Aldave. Aldave charges in. Underhand pass to Buchanan. Trying to work past Katie Cosgrove and a late whistle. Buchanan again missing 2 games against Central Michigan and Ohio State, but back for Notre Dame. Buchanan will take it at the 12. Pass to Aldave. Working in his hand to Dorney. Just over 45 seconds left on the shot clock, and another nice play by Cubby Biscardi as Duke takes over. Howe applying some pressure. Duke trying to clear. Duke 10 for 13 on clears before that one. Nice pass up ahead, some green grass.
Gets the
and a
shooting
whistle
space.
is called. Diana Kelly was in front, so another shooting space for Duke. They can cut it down to 4 if they score here.
Capitalizing on these free position shots now are the Blue Devils, realizing it's working for them. Let's see if it'll cut their deficit again. And
Shot
it does.
and score. Duke has scored 2 straight. It's 9-5 after another goal from Katie Cronin.
Duke goal scored, number 18, Katie Cronin. Assisted. Blue Devils goal number 18, Cronin. Assisted.
Usually at this point in the game, we see Notre Dame pulling away, but here we see the Blue Devils coming back to make it a real game. So Notre Dame really going to need to figure out on the defensive side of the ball what's going on, because Dehan's doing her best. However, these are just 2 free position shots that they got. Not much in that situation where Dehan can do. She then has to rely on her defenders to crash on that open shot.
Duke now with 3 goals on the free position. Duke wins another draw, and clobbered was Maddie Jenner, so a whistle and Duke ball again. Duke with some momentum now. 9 minutes gone in the second half. They've cut the deficit to just 4. Sun peeking back out here at Arlada Stadium. First ACC matchup for either of these 2 teams. Duke 0-2 when trailing at halftime so far this year. Notre Dame obviously a perfect 4-0. Their signature win so far this season was at number 3 Northwestern in their 2nd game of the year.
Ball's loose.
Nice play by Aaron McBride to take it away from Cronin.
Wonderful cause turnover for McBride.
Ground ball at midfield. Batted away by McBride, but Duke ball.
Got a cover on McBride.
Kirsten Kimmel and the Duke bench are fired up here as the Blue Devils have their foot on the gas pedal. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Cordray. Top 3 on the team in ground balls and caused turnovers coming into this contest. Had 3 goals against Wofford earlier this year. Duke again with a high-powered offense, 4th in the country at 19.67 goals per game.
We got
Pearsall tied up with DeBellis and another whistle.
yellow card on Pearsall. And it's going to be a man-up situation for Duke.
So a yellow card on Pearsall, just the second yellow card of the day against Notre Dame. Duke now with a man-up opportunity, and the bench is into it. Duke can cut the lead to 3 if they score here.
20 Irish penalty number 19, McKenna Pearsall, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Grace, you mentioned some of the adjustments Duke needed to make in this second half. What are they doing well to get back within striking distance?
As I said, they were capitalizing on those 3 position shots as they were realizing it works for them. But now, in a man-up situation, they got to realize where that open girl is, because there's one somewhere, and they have a shooting space now, and here's another free position for the Blue Devils.
Kelly Donnelly stepped in front of Cronin yet again, so it'll be a chance for Duke to cut it to 3. Dehan with 9 saves wants a 10th here. Whistle, nice pass behind the net. In front, and another shooting space. This time from dead straight away.
Exactly what they were looking for, too. And this time they don't have.
Abby Landry will take it. Shot, and she scores. Duke has scored 3 straight. It's a 3-goal deficit, 9-6.
The Duke sideline is ecstatic right now, really on this momentum train right now. 3 goals, all off of free position shots. It's going to be a timeout, too. Need to get their thoughts together.
19-13 left in the second half. Duke is down just 3 after 3 straight free position goals. It's the Blue Devils and the Fighting Irish in a classic here at Arlotta Stadium. Abby Landry with a pair today to cut the Duke deficit to just 3. Landry has 2 goals, as does her teammate Catherine Cordray. And Grace, they've really been successful with those free position shots that you mentioned.
3 in a row, and clearly it's what's getting the ball behind Dehan so far. Nothing else has really worked for them. We're talking about how great Dehan's been, but in the past 3 free positions, which are the hardest for her to stop, they've gotten behind her. So Notre Dame's got to figure out defensive-wise what they have to do to capitalize on not giving them those free positions, avoiding getting that shooting space call.
Aldave goes up against Jenner once again in the circle. Jenner up to 4 draw controls today. Aldave for Notre Dame has 3. Kathleen Rowe also has a trio for Notre Dame. Jenner quickly comes up with it. Pushed by Kelly by the restraining line, but Duke again with the foot on the gas pedal, trying to cut it to 2 for the first time since early in the first half.
Enthusiasm on the Duke sideline is at a peak right now, really trying to get their team riled up, make this a game.
Play signal from the Duke sideline as Abby Landry will get the Duke offense set. Duke has controlled the last 5+ minutes of this contest. It was 9-3 at one point, now it's 9-6. Cordray circling around the 12, moves in on Buchanan. Hard pick set by Maddie Jenner with that 6'2 frame. Nice spin move. Cordray has space, top left corner, and it's in. 4 straight goals, it's 9-7.
Not the turnout we were expecting. 12 minutes into the second half, David. We've talked about what the Blue Devils need to do to improve and capitalize into the second half, and they did just that. Rallying 4 points, all back to back.
What a spin move, too. Take a look at this spin move on McKenna Pearsall to get that space.
And that's what they've been needing. They've been needing that space. They've been making those shots that were during the first half that were right in front of dien, and they couldn't make those goals. But now that they're giving themselves space, especially with these free positions, they're making these goals. And now it's a 2-point deficit.
Second biggest run we've seen by either team today. Notre Dame scored 5 straight in the first half. Duke has scored 4 in a row here in the second. Top 20 matchup has been all it has been cracked up to be here on this Sunday afternoon. First ACC contest of the year between Duke and Notre Dame. And we have a game with 18 minutes left in the second half.
Notre Dame getting the ball for the first time consistently in a couple minutes. This is where they're going to definitely try and take back at least one of those unanswered goals from the Blue Devils.
Dehan was lights out in the first half with 8 saves and 3 goals against. Duke has scored on 4 of their last 5 shots on her. Lynch working her way back in. Low shot stopped by Henriquez. Lynch went down in that first half with a hard hit inside the 8, but she's back out there for Notre Dame. Just can't convert on that shot.
Here's this offensive transition from Duke. Notre Dame really needing to have a successful ride right now to keep the Blue Devils from moving into the offensive.
Nice play by Carter to get past Buchanan. Duke will set up yet again, trying to make it 5 straight goals for the Blue Devils. Notre Dame trying to dig in defensively and get that momentum back. Garner, freshman from North Point, New York. Drops it off, some space. Back behind, Barry circles around with Buchanan in front of her, dropped it for a sec, but picked it back up. 30 seconds left on the shot clock. Reynolds will set it up. 20 seconds left now. Cordray, she's been the hot hand with 3 straight goals. Low shot, and it's wide. 15 seconds left. Clock is still ticking. 10 seconds left now on the shot clock. Duke has to get something going. Barry drops it. It's loose. Buchanan has it. Running down in the corner. 2 second, 1 second. And Notre Dame gains possession right as the horn sounds. A big stand from Notre Dame defensively.
Just what they needed. Like I said, they needed to make sure to not give them that opportunity to have another unanswered goal. Here's that transition on the offense we've been looking for from Notre Dame.
Aldave to Howe, plenty of space, low shot, and a bounce shot is blocked by Henriquez. Big save by the junior to keep it a 2-goal game.
Midfields are probably exhausted right now, running back and forth. This tiredness is going to catch up to the Notre Dame team if they don't settle the ball on the offensive side.
Duke charging towards their zone. Jenner has it. McBride in front of her, and you can see Jenner just towering over some of her opponents. By far the tallest person out there at 6'2". Again, leading the country in draw controls coming into this contest. She has another 5 today, so now up to 75 on the season. Heineman blows past McBride, tries to get a shot, but can't quite see an angle. Crashing in front. Looking for a pass up top to Reynolds. Again, Duke using a lot of time off the shot clock with just about 30 seconds left now. Spin move by Reynolds, double spin. She's sealed off beautifully by McKenna Pearsall. Back up top, Duke. Drops it off down low, Donnelly in front. Looking for a pass in front, it's loose. Kelly comes up with it. Another big stand by the Notre Dame defense.
Exactly what the Notre Dame defense needed on that play right there. That was a great defensive drive.
Notre Dame perhaps slowing Duke's offensive roll a little bit with a couple stops their last 2 possessions. 14 minutes left now in the second half. We're seeing a lot more free-flowing play, some less whistles here in the second half.
We're also seeing Notre Dame, this is the first time they're settling the ball on the offensive side. The past 2 times were offensive transitions and they missed both shots. Notre Dame needs to settle this ball. Usually that's what they capitalize on, but right now this is a 2-point game. They weren't expecting to have this deficit close in on them like it did.
Notre Dame leads Duke in the shots category, 23-20, 19-16 in shots on goal. Aldave works back in front, looking for Choma in front, spinning around, but it's just wide. Choma almost had her 4th goal today. Really tough angle shot as she was spinning and falling around. Ahern trying to make something happen. She's got Joseph on her. Ahern will loop it back up top to Dorney. 20 seconds left on the shot clock for the Irish. We've seen both teams use just about all of that shot clock these last 5 or so minutes. Howe spinning her way in. Back behind to Ahern. 10 seconds left now. Ahern looking in front for someone. Aldave feed, and it's in. Huge goal for Notre Dame. They're back up 3.
With only a couple of seconds left on that shot clock, Notre Dame makes that play that they needed from Ahern. Found Aldave standing right at the top right of that crease. Enriquez notices her right in the last second, but not enough time. Notre Dame finally answering of the 4 goals that Duke put on the board. Finally making it a 3-point game instead of a 2 anymore. And it's 10-7 Notre Dame, and it's going to be a timeout.
3 hat tricks now for the Irish with Howe, Choma, and Aldave. And this is something that Coach Halfpenny talked about when we were talking to her earlier this week, Grace. It's the leadership of Andy Aldave. There were times last year, her sophomore season, when Aldave was leading the team. Coach Halfpenny said she's been a leader since her freshman year. She gets a big goal when Notre Dame needs it.
Oh, absolutely. She's led her team offensively, defensively, and then also their midfielders on the circle and in the draw. There's a reason she's a captain. There's a reason she's on the Twarton watch list. There's a reason for all the things that Andy Aldave does, and she runs this team just as well as Coach Halfpenny does as a coach, but as a player herself, she really brings this whole team together.
So the timeout called by Duke after that goal. This is quite the game. 3 goals
we were just
separate these 2 teams with 13 minutes left.
We were just saying that the first half was kind of hard to get through in a sense. So many whistles, couldn't really keep track, but this second half was not one we were expecting. You're seeing Coach Halfpenny not very pleased, and I wouldn't be surprised either. That's not usually how Notre Dame plays, especially on that the defensive side of the ball recently. But they are already making those adjustments from just this 1 goal they've just made with Aldave and Ahern, making those adjustments needed now. 13 minutes left, I'm sorry, in this game.
Duke outscoring Notre Dame 4-2 here in the second half. It was 8-3 at the halftime break. As you get a look at Coach Kirsten Kimmel, she says that this Duke team has a ton of potential. She says it's one of the more experienced Duke teams that she's seen in the past few years. And again, a couple close losses to very good teams. This is a solid Duke team, obviously within the top 20. Ranked 17th in the country. Notre Dame on the other side, off to a very hot start. Really defined by that win against Northwestern. They're up with their highest ranking in program history at number 2 in the country.
They're going to try and keep that up again next week as they head to play Boston College here.
Yeah, upcoming schedule for Notre Dame, Boston College, Vanderbilt, and then a date down in Chapel Hill against the number 1 team in the country, UNC. Duke on the other side will play Virginia, East Carolina, and Penn following this matchup with the Irish. Aldave and Jenner, again, 2 McDonough alums squaring off in the circle. Duke had their best stretch with 4 straight goals to cut it to 9-7, but Aldave just scoring to give Notre Dame their 3-goal lead yet again. By the restraining line. Booted up ahead by Savannah Buchanan, but she can't quite corral the ground ball. Duke has it. They'll send it the other way with Abby Landry. Landry, a native of Hingham, Massachusetts. Swings it back to the far side. Notre Dame leading Duke in draw controls. Irish now with 10 today.
Play called already by Duke.
Here's Cronin. Cronin been solid today. 2 goals on 3 shots for the junior. Cronin working her way in. Tries to get a shot off, but swarmed by Donnelly and company. A whistle's called.
Across the body in the critical scoring area, so it's going to be outside the 8.
44 seconds left on the shot clock for the Blue Devils. 12:06 left in the second half.
Hanging hash.
Cronin. Got Donnelly to her right, Rowe to her left. She'll swing it back to the corner. Nice push by Duke. Passes it back out. Here's Cordray, native of Summit, New Jersey. Coming off a 39-point junior year. Cordray, one of the senior leaders on this team. Nice pass to Duke, low shot, and it's wide.
Tried to find the draw and dump.
10 seconds left on the shot clock. Crashing in front, low shot, saved by Dehan. Big save. Now Dehan in double digits. Fresh shot clock for Duke, though.
Notre Dame comes up with it.
Dehan 2 away from tying her career high in saves. She's at 10 today. Career high was 12 at Northwestern earlier this season. Buchanan lifts it up ahead. Finds McKenna Pearsall. Pearsall from Wilton, Connecticut. 6 ground balls and 6 caused turnovers coming into the game today. Masinko has some space, shoots, and it's stopped by Henriquez on the doorstep. Bodies go flying as Masinko is down. Also falling down was Cubby Biscardi, who's been all over the place defensively for Duke. That was maybe the best look Masinko's had in a minute, but a nice stop.
Good stop. Tried to find that crease roll.
Nice move past the restraining line for Duke. Cronin sends it over to Olivia Rubin. Rubin, the sophomore for Baltimore, Maryland. Went to Bryn Morse High School. Stands at 5'6", 5 goals, 2 assists, and 7 points this year for number 23. Cordray got Doherty in front of her. Cordray tries a couple spin moves and sends it over to Cronin.
David, this game, or this half, I should say, much different than the first.
Space, and another stop by Dehan. 11 now today for the junior.
Really making an impact on this team. Defense wins, or something they always say in lacrosse is offense wins games, defense wins championships, and that's what Dehan's doing tremendously right now.
Dehan, a .611 save percentage today. Again, outstanding numbers from number 32 in white. Aldave will slow it down, play catch with Howe. Under 10 minutes left in this game. Notre Dame leads by 3. These are 2 teams who average over 19 goals a game in a much lower scoring contest than they're used to. Masinko tries a long pass, broken up by Duke. Taken away. Nice play by number 11, Katie Cosgrove.
Wonder more in that instance than Henrietto did.
Cosgrove from Churchville, New York. 8 caused turnovers this year. That led the team.
Here comes offensively that transition with speed.
Still down just 3. Berry back outside the 12 with Diana Kelly in front of her. Swings it over to Landry. Landry with 2 goals, Cordray with 3, Cronin with 2. So all 7 goals have come from 3 players for Duke. Halfway gone on the shot clock, under 45 seconds left. Just over 8 minutes left now. Duke had some success on free position goals earlier in this half. We'll see if they try to continue with that strategy here down the stretch. Reynolds swings it back behind. Passes in front, and there is a shooting space.
They were looking for that. They've been trying to get it drawn. They've been doing a lot of the approaches to get the shooting space call because they know they can capitalize on it with dien, but they finally got it. And
Abby Landry will take it. Landry with a goal here would have a hat trick. The whistle stops and starts. Beautiful feet in front, and she drills it. Unbelievable play by Duke. The deficit back down to 2.
Notre Dame not ready to look for a cut off that free position. They were looking for Landry to drive right to the goal, leaving Berry wide open in front of the goal. Her defender didn't even bother following her. They went right for Landry off the drop or off the shooting space call, but
Cat
2-point deficit again.
Cat Berry's first goal of the day. Duke cuts the deficit to 2. 7:45 left in this first ACC matchup of the year. You're going to want to tune in for the end of this game on the ACC Network Extra. Left in this contest. Notre Dame leads Duke 10-8, but Duke has really been in the driver's seat for much of this second half. They've scored 5 goals in the second frame to Notre Dame's 2. There you get a look at Cat Berry. She just scored a goal for the Duke Blue Devils, and they're really capitalizing on these free position goals.
So far, they are 5 for 5 in the past free positions that they've had. 4 of them direct, 1 of them off the assist, the last one being from Berry. Notre Dame not really sure how to deal with it necessarily, not really having a 2-point deficit this late yet at all for the Irish.
Well, Berry finding the back of the net. She's the 4th goal scorer of the day for Duke. Came into this game leading the team in goals. She now has 18 on the season. Again, Coach Kimmel, when we talked to her earlier this week, said that Berry has taken a huge step up this year. She had 4 goals and 5 points in a 1-goal loss to Navy and gets on the board to cut Duke's deficit to 2 here against number 2 Notre Dame. 7:30 left in the second half.
Notre Dame getting the ball. This is where they have to capitalize on holding possession and making the shot needed to make this a 3-point game again. No rushing. They're putting a lot of defense outside the 8.
Buchanan swings all the way back behind. Looks for the pass over to Aldave and finds her. 40 seconds left on the shot clock for the Irish. Under 7 minutes left in this game. Here's Howe. 3 goals scored today for the junior, as has Aldave. Trying to work her way inside, gets some space and scores. Andy Aldave is on the deck. 4 goals today for the junior captain.
Aldave fighting for that goal. 3 defenders swarming her. She's checking her face right now. Possibly got a hit to the face, getting that ball into the back of the net, but she does it anyway. Here she goes, breaks not 1 defender, but also 2. Gets her stick in front of them, successfully making an 11-8 game for the Irish, putting 2 Blue Devils down in her path.
Just willed her way past Kat Berry. Now up to 12 goals on the season for Andy Aldave. Approaching the team lead in that category, still held by Casey Choma with 16. Aldave will head back to the circle and take the draw against Jenner, and she has really shown her leadership in her junior season today. Showed why she's one of the best players in the country.
Oh, absolutely. On all sides of the ball, whether it's in the midfield, right in front of the goal, or on defense, Aldave is a versatile player across this Notre Dame field.
Lead is back to 3 for the Irish. A little bit more breathing room, but still a very close game here with 6:30 left. Landry spins into the offensive zone for Duke. Berry from Napa, California, scored the most recent goal for the Blue Devils. Also had 4 draw controls against William and Mary, their most recent game out. Last year, in 2019, had 44 draw controls. And they shoot and score again. Back down to 11-9 the score.
You'll get to see it here in this replay in just a second, so we can go through how this started. It started off as an attempted pick for a one-on-one, but they read it really quickly, so she followed her to her, made it her own. And now it's a 2-point deficit again.
Cronin, a hat trick for Duke. She and Cordray have led the way for the Blue Devils. 11-9, 6:04 left. Feels like an ACC tournament game, Grace.
Oh, absolutely. ACC, like we said, this is the most competitive conference you will find in women's lacrosse. It does not matter if Duke is 17, Notre Dame is 2, or vice versa. This will be a competitive game throughout, and we'll see it a lot throughout ACC play too.
Well, these last 6:04 could be the key. Notre Dame with a 2-goal lead, trying to stay perfect and move to 5-0. Draw control, batted back and forth. Aldave tries to come up with it. It's Kathleen Rowe, one of the fastest players on the team. Blows her way through and gets clobbered right on the 8. A whistle's blown.
Indirect, going to be on the 12.
Rowe will take it. Senior captain from Denver, Colorado.
Let's look to the left. We have Masinko coming in out of from the restraining line in just a second.
Buchanan back behind to Choma. Choma with another hat trick today. She leads the team in goals with 16.
Masinko coming in, making it even on the offensive side.
Aldave leading all players in goals with 4 this afternoon. Nice pass in front to Choma, who buries it. Notre Dame back up 3.
Choma and Aldave celebrating as they should. A gorgeous cut from the middle. Out came Choma from a huge crowd. Andy finding her, claps and all, everyone very excited. And it's another 3-point deficit. We're going back, 3-2, 3-2.
Beat Henriquez to the right side. Aldave and Choma each with 4 goals today. Choma now with 17 goals on the year during her freshman season. She has just hit the ground running.
Absolutely. Notre Dame finally capitalizing on these freshman aspects. Ahern, Choma, all offering different things on the field. Ahern with the most assists, Choma with the most goals so far of the freshmen.
Choma and Aldave each with 5 points today. They both have 4 goals. They both have 1 assist. Irish have really moved the ball well a lot today. 6 assists as a team. 5:23 left. Notre Dame back up 3. Aldave trying to leap to control the draw. Still loose. Duke trying to get it in their own defensive zone. Kat Berry comes away with it. Quick pass up ahead to Humphrey.
Crucial scoring part for the Blue Devils. Definitely need to make some kind of impact here right now if they want to keep this game alive. Only closing in on 4 minutes.
First ACC game of the 2020 season for each of these two teams. Irish slated at 3rd in the preseason coaches poll. Duke at 7th. Berry, nice pass in front, but just off the stick. Couldn't quite get the shot off from Rubin. Berry still has it. 45 seconds left on the possession. Soft pass up ahead, but Duke still controls. Cronin now has it with McBride in front of her. 4:20 left in the second half. Cronin got Buchanan in front of her, works her way into the 8, dumps it off for Berry. Goes well across, swinging the ball well. Cordray moves inside, stopped by Dien. 12 saves now for Dien, matches her career high.
Beautiful save. Great work also by the defense, making sure it stayed far out. Used up a lot of time. It's going to stay Notre Dame ball, and 70 seconds on the shot clock for Notre Dame. Here's the save again, but beautiful work by Dehan. And after that replay you just missed, we have a yellow card on the Blue Devils. Casey Choma was tripped up at first, but then she got tripped up again.
Number 7.
So the foul will go against Catherine Cordray.
2 minutes for a dangerous play.
2 minutes for a dangerous play here. As you see, Choma trying to move past the restraining line.
Pushing her stick up against her. Not set well with the refs. Putting them yet at another disadvantage.
And this is a huge call because 2-minute man advantage with just 3:30 left in the game and a 3-goal deficit.
Yep. Not the break that the Blue Devils were looking for in the last few minutes of this game, but now the Irish need to definitely use this time up as much as they can. Having 65 seconds left on the shot clock. Run out a full minute probably of this clock now.
Now 5 yellow cards and a green card against Duke this afternoon.
Only
Grace,
1 card against Notre Dame.
and if you look at that, that could be a difference in this game.
Huge. It makes a difference in any game.
Buchanan works her way through, finds Choma. Choma stops and starts. Finds Aldave. Outside the 12, they'll go back behind to Masinko. Masinko fakes a couple passes. Ahern now has it. Double fakes and scores. Notre Dame back up 4. A huge goal from Madison Ahern with 2:41 left.
The crease roll from Madison Ahern, her biggest threat that she offers to this team, coming from her best spot from behind the goal. Uncontested, one-on-one with the goal. Easy shot for Ahern, beautiful crease roll, and it's finally a 4-point deficit that we have not seen for a while now.
Yeah, Notre Dame came into the second half leading by 5, but then Duke scored 4 straight to cut it to 9-7, and it's been either 2 or 3 goals separating these two teams since. Madison Ahern notches up another pair today to go along with 2 assists, and again, Grace, balanced offense from Notre Dame. Choma 5 points, Aldave 5 points, Howe with 3, and Ahern with 4.
Versatility and scores across the board for Notre Dame. When one player can be shut down, another one opens up. There's not one person that you have to lock down on Notre Dame defense or offense because they're all a threat. Notre Dame gets the ball.
Seen a few of those calls today where the ref has blown the whistle and there has been no draw control inside the circle. Notre Dame with possession. Still 1:03 left on the man-up opportunity for the Irish with a 4-goal lead and 2:41 left.
the shot clock starts, we'll have about a minute left on the game clock.
.220 left, 40 seconds left on the man advantage.
Notre Dame taking up all the time and space that they need.
Well, it will be a hill to climb for Duke to get back into this game. 2 minutes left now and another whistle on the near side.
Pulling the refs. Coach Halfpenny yelling from the side at the refs, getting a little frustrated. We just heard her yell, "Let them play."
Well, these three have been busy today. Ann Drummond, Joseph Sarkis, and Kathy Russo have had a handful of conferences. We saw a lot more in the first half especially. Saw more free-flowing play here in the second, but they'll meet with 2:01 left and 23 seconds on the man advantage for the Irish.
Notre Dame's celebrating.
Bench trying to stay into it and bring the energy for Notre Dame.
Still really trying to figure out what the refs are doing here. Coach Halfpenny interrogating them as they run to the side.
51 seconds left on the shot clock for the Irish as well. Notre Dame up by 4, so they look poised to move to 5-0. Duke has competed well against ranked opponents this year. They lost by 4 to number 3 Northwestern, 24-20. Lost by just 1 goal to number 15 Navy by a score of 16-15. Their wins have been over Gardner-Webb, Wofford, George Washington,
Delay
and
a game.
William and Mary.
Again, we have a green card. Coming from the Blue Devil end again.
Team penalty against Duke, too many players on the field, 1 minute.
Too many players on the field, which caused the delay of game.
2 minutes and 1 second left, and we'll wait for the whistle to finish this game out. Duke showing tremendous fight in this contest, Grace, but just some mistakes that really put them behind the 8 ball here and there.
Well, 2 minutes left, and they're two-man down. A 5v7 with only 2 minutes left is probably not the ideal situation that the Blue Devils were looking to be in. Still some discussion from them really trying to rebuke this, but it's not going to work, and Notre Dame's going to get this fresh shot clock as well, leaving only about 30 seconds left.
So Alexis Joseph is the one who comes to the near side as a result of the too many players penalty. There you get a look at Kat Berry. She found the back of the net just once today. Leading goal scorer for Duke with 18 goals on her junior season. Kelly Donnelly comes back into the Notre Dame zone. And again, both teams just waiting for the go code.
Uh-oh. And now we got a little bit of a confrontation with the ref. And the Blue Devils neither sideline seem very happy right now, David.
Can't blame them.
Nope.
Had a long stoppage here now with just 2 minutes and 1 second left in the game. 4-goal lead for Notre Dame. Again, first ACC matchup of the season for both of these teams. So far, Virginia Tech and UNC winning their first ACC contests over Virginia and Louisville.
Finally have all 3 refs back on the field. Looks like we're actually going to get to start gameplay again.
Well, Maddie Howe will take it, so they get an extra timeout. We'll call it that. And the whistle blows, and we are now under 2 minutes.
30 seconds will be probably left on the game clock once the Irish run out the shot clock.
Choma sends it back to Aldave. Aldave lofts it back over to her high school teammate, Savannah Buchanan. And the 2-minute penalty's up now, 36 seconds left on the 1-minute man-up opportunity for the Irish. 1 minute 30 left, and Notre Dame looks poised to move to a perfect 5-0. They'll just play catch until the end of this shot clock, and Duke will have limited time to work with. Duke showed some fight here in the second half.
A lot of fight. They made this a game. They were not going to let them go down easy. They kept it to a 2-goal deficit for a really long time, and also had 4 unanswered goals from Notre Dame.
Yeah, really the turning point for Duke in the second half. They were down 9-3 and then scored 4 straight goals. Cordray with a highlight reel goal on the spin move as Sam Lynch shoots a little bit wide. But then 3 free position goals to move it to 9-7. Notre Dame and Duke traded goals after that, but then a couple goals late from the Irish give them the 4-goal comfortable lead to close out this game. Buchanan looking in front for Aldave, trying to find her 5th. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Choma shoots. It's blocked by Henriquez. Fresh shot clock, and Duke takes over. 30 seconds left. One last push for the Blue Devils to try to cut it to less than 4.
Looking for that offensive transition with the slide and dump.
Beautiful pass in front. Goes a little bit high over Dehan. Notre Dame ball. And that should about do it. Clock continues to run. 10 seconds left.
And it's going to be
Rowe will send
victorious for Notre Dame, keeping that perfect season alive.
Notre Dame beats Duke in the first ACC contest of the year. 13-9 is the final score. Lower scoring than most teams are used to for Duke and Notre Dame. But at the end of the day, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish come out on top. Grace, your takeaway from this hard-fought victory for Notre Dame.
Backbone of this team was Bridget Dehan today, matching her career high in saves that she matched from the Northwestern game. Really led this entire defense and offense, and today, as you can see, 100th career win for Chris Halfpenny today. Huge win for her.